The new Venom movie is out and it is getting terrible reviews. Also, the Tokyo fish market has closed forever. Trump says it's a scary and difficult time for young men. And he's right. A woman injures a man while committing suicide. Lindt has a new Japanese flavour of chocolate. More of my thoughts on Kathleen Kennedy coming back to produce Star Wars. And finally, Wikipedia might fall to the SJWs. I go by the name of Johnny Massacre, and you're witnessing the Johnny Massacre Show. So, yes, as I have predicted, the Venom movie is really bad. Well, that's going by what Metacritic says anyways. Metacritic being the review score aggregator. And it's getting pretty badly panned. So let's head on over to Metacritic. See for yourself. Here we are. Average score of 33, and bearing in mind a lot of terrible movies still get good scores because the PR team or whoever's involved have the journalists under their thumbs and in their pockets. But this looks incredibly bad. So I would like to cast your attention over to my reaction from the last trailer and what I said. I hate to say I told you so, but please have a little listen to this. Did it really look that bad? Can CGI look that bad in 2018? I've never seen such bad CGI ever. Like, oh my fucking god, that was terrible. You got to be... Holy shit, okay. Right. So, points about this. It looks like it's an interesting opportunity for Tom Hardy because he has to play... Alright, that's enough of that. So, you could see my opinion there quite clearly. I said it looks kind of shitty, terrible, what have you. But then, look at these people. I don't know who these guys are, but 351,000 subscribers. Blatantly, they don't want to tell the truth because they've got advertising revenue. Look what these motherfuckers said after watching the same trailer as me.
You ain't gonna have no regular conversation. Yeah, for real. I'm sold. I'm sold.
Fucking douchebag. So that's how you tell a real YouTube channel from a fake one or a bullshit one. And so, yeah, the movie has a budget of 100 million. So they're gonna have to make back quite a big chunk. Otherwise, they're gonna lose a lot of money. So the BBC reviewed the movie Venom. And in the opening paragraph was a very concerning comment. It said, a few days ago, an interviewer asked Tom Hardy, the protagonist and main actor of Venom, to nominate the film's best scene. Things that weren't in the movie, Hardy replied. He went on to explain that his favourite 30 to 40 minutes were edited out. Mad puppeteering scenes, dark comedy scenes, they just never made it in. So when one of your lead actors is slating the film in a backhanded way, that's never a good sign. We saw Mark Hamill do that with The Last Jedi, and we all know how that turned out. So it looks like Venom could be a total clusterfuck. I don't want to go into any more detail into what they woulda, coulda, shoulda done to make the movie better. I got a reserved judgment until I see it, but it's out in Japan a month later than the rest of the world. So anyways, don't say I didn't warn you or tell you so about the Venom movie if it is as horrible as people are making out. In other news, the Tokyo fish market has closed forever. So the Tokyo fish market is located in a place called Tsukiji, and it is very historically significant. It looks like old world Japan, and it is a major tourist attraction for pretty much everyone coming into Japan. But they moved it for financial reasons. Whoever was pulling the strings in the government decided that the old fish market wasn't fit for purpose. They can't maintain the quality of the fish well enough, and they basically want to modernize it. In Japan, they love building shit. They love construction. It's very corrupt. It's very easy to embezzle money and launder money when it comes to construction and property. So I'm not surprised that they're moving this fish market. You can imagine all of the greased palms exchanging Japanese yen for a little bit of political leeway in order to get this fish market open. So it all sounds a little bit dodgy, I have to be honest. Have a look at it yourself. I'll bring this article up right now. So Fishmongers mourn the closure of famous Tokyo fish market. That's quite a good picture. That's inside the fish market. It's fucking seafood absolutely everywhere. So this is just an article featuring the old school generation of fishmongers who are really pissed off that it's all disappearing. Here's a nice black and white photo that nicely depicts the chaos that is always surging through this fish market. They did a futile demonstration quite recently, last week, trying to save it, but obviously they're not going to save it. I think this old granny isn't going to do much, and there's far too much smiling going on and not enough heavy-handed communist Antifa tactics, which seem to be the best way to get your voice heard today. So this is the tuna auction. You had to basically get to the market first come, first served at about 3 a.m. in order to be privy to this and witness the tuna auction. I've seen it a couple of times, so that was quite fun. So this is a big deal, really, and a lot of people are quite sad, including this geezer. He was crying that the fish market shut down. Kiyoshi is his name. We finally made Tsukiji a famous brand, and now they're trying to destroy it, said Kiyoshi Kimura, who owns one of Japan's largest sushi chains, Sushi Zanmai. Now, I have seen this sushi shop, and it's everywhere. And the face of it is this geezer who's commenting on the closure of the fish market. Obviously, he gets his fish from here for his restaurants. And I actually have a picture of myself standing next to one of his signs. As you can see there, you can see his face pretty much everywhere. And the reason this guy's famous is because he bought the most expensive tuna in the world, maybe 2 or 3 years running. So he buys this fucking expensive tuna, not really to make any money off it. I think he's going to lose money actually, but he buys it for the promotion. I know about it. You probably heard about it. It makes international news. So I like this aggressive business tactic. Just buy the most fucking expensive one, mate. Everyone will know about it. And so he's really pissed off that the market is moving. No one seems to be happy about it. I haven't read anything positive. Probably because they found that the new site where it's moving to had contaminated soil, which tells you everything you need to know about the clusterfuck that is this big move. Right. So sad times for the Tokyo fish market, but life goes on, I'm afraid, people. Now, Trump says it's a scary and difficult time for young men. And he would be right, because right now, there are so many articles online about believe women, believe this, believe that, which is the dumbest thing ever, because bitches lie. Women fucking lie. If women only told the truth, then they would be by far and away the overwhelming percentage of workers today. Why the fuck would you hire a man if women never lie? Right? But now we've got all this bullshit in the media that you got to believe women. So if you give someone this amount of unfair power so easily, I wonder if women will abuse that power. I wonder. So, yeah, it is a dangerous time for young men, because right now, the media, which is mostly left-wing, is pushing their bizarre diversity politics everywhere, including women have to be believed. They're always innocent. So, yeah, scary and difficult time. Let's see what the Donald had to say. Mr. Trump's remarks came as he reiterated his support for the Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, who is battling sexual misconduct claims by several women. And then you can see in this article there's a hashtag believe women. Believe women. If you think someone should be believed just because of their gender, you are a fucking idiot. I'm sorry to be so blunt, but you are. You are the most gullible fool ever. How about this? Believe men. Believe men. I've had such a hard life, so you have to give me money. Otherwise, the whole world will end. I'm a man. Everything I speak is the truth. You'll give me money, right? Fucking nonsense. So Donald Trump is right on that. It is a scary and difficult time for young men because, let's be honest, women are being given ridiculous amounts of leeway to just abuse a very broken, politically correct system. In other, much more positive news, a woman has committed suicide by jumping out of a building, the 8th floor, I believe, and she's seriously injured someone when she fell down on the ground. That guy has to be one of the unluckiest guys in the galaxy. How many people do you know who've been injured by someone jumping out of a building committing suicide? Probably not many. So I thought this was quite interesting, not least because it's so bare bones in terms of information, leaving a lot to your imagination. Woman injures pedestrian in suicide leap from building in Tokyo, says Japan Today. It goes on, a woman who jumped from the 8th floor of a building in an apparent suicide leap hit a man below, seriously injuring him in Shinjuku on Tuesday. Tokyo, police said Wednesday. That's a bit sexist, isn't it? Woman hurting a man while she's committing suicide. The woman died from her injuries, while the man suffered a broken right arm and other minor injuries. Fuck, she broke his arm. She must have landed on his shoulder. The incident occurred around 7 p.m. in the Kabukicho red light district. Doesn't surprise me. So she was a youngster, apparently. Suicide is a big deal out here. Japan has a disproportionate suicide rate. You've probably heard it. I think it's because out here people are not encouraged to express their feelings. They bottle them up. They never want to be ashamed in public, but we're all human beings and it becomes just a little bit too much. This is proved by the fact Japanese people cannot handle their alcohol. They're so part of the system. When they drink and they lose their inhibitions, they go way too crazy because they're too repressed. They let it all out too quickly. Japanese people need to just chill a little bit and just say what's on your mind. Say what's in your mind in the comments below, all my Japanese viewers. Now, Lindt has a new Japanese flavour of chocolate. Living in Japan, I've got a report on the Japanese news. Now, matcha or green tea is a big fucking deal. When I used to eat desserts, I used to love green tea desserts. It's weird. Why does it taste nice? Because if you taste the powder, it's really bitter and it doesn't really have that much flavour. But the contrast of the bitterness with anything sugary, sweet or custardy is fucking delicious, to put it bluntly. And so it comes as no great surprise that Lindt, the very famous, in inverted commas, gourmet chocolate manufacturer, I don't think it's really gourmet, but they market themselves as such, they are now capitalizing on the green tea boom. It used to be pretty much exclusive to Japan. When I ate sweets, I used to go down to the 24-hour convenience store, or any one of a great number of 24-hour convenience stores that litter the city. They're on every fucking street corner. And I used to eat these desserts, matcha desserts. Green tea is so versatile. You can just stick it in anything. Ice cream, puddings, chocolate, what have you. But now Lindt are jumping aboard the bandwagon. So, according to JapanToday.com, Lindt is doing exactly what I said, jumping on the green tea bandwagon, introducing a new matcha Lindor ball. Everyone knows those balls, right? Stick those balls in your fucking mouth, mate. Well tasty. Which is being touted as the company's first ever Japanese flavour. Oh my god, not very exotic compared to Japanese Kit Kats, but all the same. Released in September, the Japan Today writers stopped by their nearest Lindt store to get a taste of the new chocolate, and they got some freebies. They were greeted by a huge mound of green balls, and they ate them, and look at that. That looks pretty damn sexy. If I ate chocolate, I probably would go out and get myself some. So yeah, the Japanese news comes thick and fast, from suicide to sexy sweets. You get it all here on the Johnny Massacre Show. So, do I really want to go into politics? Yes, I do. So, more thoughts on Kathleen Kennedy coming back into the fold to produce Star Wars. Kathleen Kennedy is the feminist producer who is overseeing the shambolic Force Awakens and the fucking awful The Last Jedi. And she's been rehired, which is fucking terrible, because if you look at what any true fans are saying about Star Wars, they fucking hate it, and they hate what Kathleen Kennedy has done to it, which is basically SJW-ify the whole series. Put a female lead who's a strong, empowered woman, strong, powerful woman, independent woman, who's good at everything and has no weaknesses, and it's just a weird politically correct clusterfuck now. So Kathleen Kennedy is back. Now I want to draw your attention to an article by a man that might be called a cuck in the YouTube comments if he were to comment within YouTube. This guy's name is Scott Mendelson. Let's have a look at Scott. This is the guy who's telling us it's okay for Kathleen Kennedy to come back into the fold for Star Wars. So he covers the film industry. He looks like he has a face that would make a very good boxing sandbag. And he says, I've studied the film industry both academically and informally with an emphasis in box office analysis. That should be in inverted commas. For 28 years. If you're still a lowly journalist after that long, you're not doing something right. Scott, I have extensively written about all of said subjects for the last 10 years. My outlets for film criticism, box office commentary, and film skewing. So he's very aggressive, spoken like a true SJW. Film skewing scholarship have included the Huffington Post, Salon, and Film Threat. Three of the most feministy SJW infected online hellholes known to man. So let's see what Scott is saying about Kathleen Kennedy coming back. He says, there exists a notion that Star Wars is in peril, or that the producer of E.T., Jurassic Park, and The Sixth Sense is not fit to handle Lucasfilm. Well, obviously, when Kathleen Kennedy was working on E.T., Jurassic Park, and The Sixth Sense, she didn't get to have much of her input in the movies because there's hardly any SJW shit in there at all. In fact, Elliot, the character, says penis breath, which is a rather offensive term to SJWs today, so much so that that line has been removed from E.T., and Kathleen Kennedy was there while that line made it into the film. So back then she had no input at all, unless you have evidence otherwise, which this author doesn't. He goes on, this is mostly thanks to the online harumps arguing that Kennedy has ruined, in inverted commas, Star Wars via The Last Jedi's deconstructive mythology or schemes to populate Star Wars with non-white female heroes. God, this really fucking annoys me. So this is like SJW Attack 101. What they do is they say, do you think it's a good idea for there to be a woman in the lead role of Star Wars? And you say, well, in this case, no, because she's been casted on gender and not for her ability, which shows because the movie is badly acted. And then they will forcefully attack you. They'll say, you're a sexist, you hate women. All of their arguments are baited to antagonize you and get you to fall into their trap. So, yeah. I'm sorry, but Kathleen Kennedy is a terrible choice for this series. Let's go on. Part of this is due to an online news culture that will prop up any absurd argument as long as it's clickbait. So we're forced to discuss whether a theatre chain holding a No Boys Allowed Wonder Woman screening is a civil rights violation. Now, I cannot understand if the author is being sarcastic here or not. He's saying we're forced to discuss whether a theatre holding a No Boys Allowed Wonder Woman screening is a bad thing. So has this actually happened? And if it has, is he saying that it's tiresome to discuss the legitimacy of an all-female Wonder Woman screening? Because I think it sounds like he is. He's actually supporting that, which tells you everything you need to know about this author. He thinks it's okay to have a women-only event in the cinema for a movie just because it has a female lead. What the fuck, man? This guy's talking about equality, but he's saying it's all right to exclude men. So the genders of the people who attend are not equal. What is it, mate? Are you for equality or are you for sexism? What is it? These people are fucking infuriating. And then he goes on, but try to ignore the online mob. And I know that's hard to do when our SEO-driven media automatically brings them to the forefront and inadvertently gives them a seat at the debate table. Again, spoken like a lot of quite fanatical liberals these days, scoffing at the idea of a debate. These people, they can actually come to the table and we have to debate them. They're so arrogant. They're so ignorant of how people feel in general. People think Star Wars is shit. But this guy, he hides behind his shield of virtue and says, no, it's fine. Star Wars is fine. All this SJW shit in the movie's fine. And if you say it isn't, then you should go to prison because you're a sexist and you're a misogynist and so on and so on and so on. These people are so tiresome. So I just want to rebut this article, and I want you to know that Kathleen Kennedy is not the right person to lead the Star Wars franchise. The author says, what we have is a revamped franchise. No, you've destroyed it. You've killed all the original characters and nobody likes the new characters. A revamped franchise that has shattered box office records and earned mostly positive reviews and viewer feedback. It's all earning positive reviews in the liberal media who are wanking off over it because of the SJW themes. Who's really important here? It's the fans. Now, I've had enough of this. If you go onto YouTube, have a look at this. I just Googled the Last Jedi review. I didn't say negative review or bad review. The first thing that comes up, 2.6 million views. Why Star Wars The Last Jedi is a complete cinematic failure. That's the first thing that comes up. It has 116,000 thumbs up and 21,000 thumbs down. So look at this purple-headed feminist fool who's put in the movie by Kathleen Kennedy. It's just full of political shit. Nobody wants your political nonsense in Star Wars. When the left get hold of something, they ruin it. It was the NFL, it's Star Wars, what the fuck is next? Nothing is safe. All of these reviews are basically slating the film. Star Wars, The Last Jedi, what went wrong? 1.2 million views. So don't buy it, people. Kathleen Kennedy is a cancer in the body of Star Wars. She should not be producing these films, and you can bet your ass, as long as she's up there, you're going to get a lot of boring SJW feminist bollocks in Star Wars that nobody wants to see. Okay. Had to fucking slog through that political topic. And finally, Wikipedia might fall to SJWs. I fucking hope not. But I just found this news today and no one seems to be reporting on this yet. Have a look at this. Wikipedia's broken links fixed by the Internet Archive. So look, this is not very interesting news, but Wikipedia has fixed some broken links on their website. And then the BBC article goes on. It has also emerged that some editors voted to restrict use of Breitbart. So some editors on Wikipedia. Again, liberals want to censor everything. They can't come out with a cohesive argument. They just want to destroy it and censor it, because if they can't, they're going to look like idiots because they're wrong. And so, of course, some people are liberal working for Wikipedia, but the conservatives, do they want to remove all CNN bullshit? No, it's a few liberals who want to censor conservative thinking. Now, Breitbart, I actually go there sometimes for my news because I often type Google, but I don't want to go on Google because it's left-wing bias. So I think, where can I go? Okay, I go to fucking Breitbart, and it feels a bit dirty going on there because also it's a fucking trashy site, and it's very tribal. I won't say anything bad about the right at all. It's not impartial. Of course it's not, and I don't think it claims to be. But I feel a bit dirty going there, but I do go there if I don't want some tainted left-wing opinion. I want to see the right wing as well. And so the idea of banning it just because it's conservative is insane. What is all this shit about how Donald Trump is a Nazi and Hitler, and he wants to destroy women and destroy gays and shut down free speech and blah blah blah? I don't see any of that shit coming from the right. All I see is people on the left wanting to shut down stuff and censor stuff. So right now it seems like culturally the left are acting like complete dicks and the right look good by comparison, when really they are kind of just as bad as each other. So woo, that's enough politics for today. Nearly fell asleep halfway through. If you haven't yet, stick around, because it is time to talk about my life. Wow, that kind of fucked up a little bit. So the frame rate might be a bit weird right now. I think I've fucked up the frame rate. If it is, you got to bear with me with my beautiful voice. I'll keep this quick. What's going on in my life? Well, I've got a DJ mix out. So make sure you have a listen to it. It is called the Melt Mix. And it was recorded live at one of my events when I was performing at a festival. And it sounds fucking delicious. I called it Melt Mix, music to crash your car to. So listen to this. This is proper. This is vintage drum and bass with vibes that can make you shed a tear while intoxicated on an A-grade narcotic, as well as brand new shit that just has been curated by myself. I would like to think I'm one of the best curators of music you can find for drum and bass. So make sure you have a listen to that. You can listen to it right there. All right? Great. So, okay, I'm going through the motions now. My jaw actually hurts because I've just been nattering so much. There's been so much to talk about today. And the politics was a slog as usual. But am I joining the light side or am I joining the dark side? At the end of the show, I have to decide whether we're going to finish on a high note or a low note. And I've got to finish on a high note. Today, I'm joining the light side because I sometimes go on these weird pseudo-philosophical speeches about life, about how we're lucky to be alive and how life is great and so on. Basically because as a nihilist, as an atheist, the fact that we're alive right now means we're incredibly lucky. There's no way, if you don't believe in a God, you can't marvel at the very fact you're fucking alive. Just think about it for a second. Think about the thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of years that have passed and all the past events. And if one of those happened slightly differently, you might not even be here today. And go back before humans, before animals to plants, and then the Big Bang, and before that, it's all fucking mind-boggling. And I had one of these kind of deep existential moments today when I was going back to my recording studio from the gym. And this usually happens after I go to the gym. And I don't know why this is, but I think it's about alpha waves. I listened to a podcast once about trail running and long distance aerobic running. And they were talking about the alpha waves. And I don't know what they are, but what that means is your brain is in a special state and it feels amazing. It feels therapeutic. It feels relaxing. It feels like you're almost high. And I get that after I do very heavy exercise. And today I punished myself a little bit. Didn't go 100%, but I'd say 85. And yeah, I got these alpha waves and I was cruising around and I felt untouchable. And I was just marveling at the huge amount and array of faces, of different faces, and how organized everything is. Everyone is coming back from rush hour in their suits and shit, and it's also organized. No one's killing each other, nobody's harming each other. Everyone is going somewhere and everyone's doing something, and everyone has seems to have some kind of meaning and some value and some purpose. And it's just amazing to see. You look at all the subordinate animals who are just running around with their tails in their fucking hands, not knowing what the fuck is going on, which actually could be preferable to a human consciousness, because we have to go through a lot of pain as well as pleasure. But then humans, by contrast, we're self-aware, and look what we fucking made. It wasn't that long ago when everything was fucked, man. Everything was fucked. Just go back 200 years and you're in the cowboy times. You might get blown away by a bullet, motherfucker. And before that, people are kind of tortured. There's witch hunts. People are framed as witches and drowned in the fucking lake. And there's plagues and there's all kinds of madness going on. But now, if you live in Tokyo or Japan, America or England, basically, you fucking hit the jackpot. And I know it's tiresome when some people say, I like America's great or England's actually great. It's amazing. What an amazing place. And a lot of people scratch their heads and say, no, it's fucking not, it's shit. But no, mate, looking around me today, the level that society has reached where we're all kind of civil, we've got a justice system, which right now the left-wing media is trying to destroy by saying, believe anyone who has a vagina, which is fucking ridiculous. But we've got all these things nicely set out. The justice system, just the power network, that's all set up. Electricity is on tap, quite literally. And there's a general feeling of what's right and wrong generally among people. And it's just amazing where we are right now. And what's really sad is that we've only had electricity for about 100 fucking years. And look what we've done to the world. We've built roads everywhere and there's power plants everywhere, and we're kind of fucking up the environment and stuff. I don't know the facts on the environment, but look what we've done. Look at all the plastics everywhere and all that kind of shit. And you just think, wow, we've reached this pinnacle. And yet, within the space of 100 years, we've almost destroyed the fucking world. The population is exponentially increasing. Where the fuck is everyone going to fucking go? The more people there are, the more power you need. The less space there is, the less natural resources there are. So just fucking enjoy it, enjoy it, because we're at this pinnacle. We're in this amazing place and everything's pretty much perfect right now. For a bunch of warring primal creatures, we're doing pretty fucking well. So don't let the media brainwash you into hating your country and hating shit. I honestly believe we are in an amazing time and there's a lot to be positive about. So on that note, I have joined the light side. I went by the name of Johnny Massacre, and you've been witnessing the Johnny Massacre Show. And no outro today. I'm just going to cut it off. See you tomorrow.